guys, welcome back, and today we have a new guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Abby. I'm a final year student at Bournemouth University and I'm a qualified level 3 personal trainer.
So how did you become a personal trainer in the first place?
I've always been interested in sports since I was younger and I've always played in activities in and out of school. And my gym that I train at back home about 3 or 4 years ago, they started offering a personal training course. So in the summer after my A-levels, I did a 10-week accelerated personal training course and I got my qualification.
That's great. So now you're a student, how have you managed to get a good balance between working out, studying?
I've always been very organised and I've always looked at my schedules for each week and I've seen when my assignments are due, what work needs doing, if there's any pre-notes or pre-reading, and then I've used the calendar on my phone or a physical calendar in a book, and then I've allocated time for exercise. And I used to go to the uni gym, so I used to fit that in if I had gaps between lectures and seminars because it was more convenient.
So what would you say are the biggest challenges that you see students face when trying to maintain their fitness?
A lot of them are quite scared to start, and I do understand that it's a very, very intimidating environment, and if you have no background at all and you don't know what you're doing, I think that is a big challenge. And I think as well, sort of with the university culture of going out, drinking, smoking, vaping, like that definitely can limit how fit you can become in the gym. I personally know that if I've had a heavy week, like and been out a lot, that in the gym I can feel it on my lungs, or I feel a lot more sluggish in myself.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, definitely the whole culture of university doesn't really match with the fitness lifestyle as much as it probably should do.
So if you were a new beginner, what would be your top tips?
I would say to go to the gym at a less busy time, so I'd say sort of mid-morning or early afternoon, because that tends to be the quietest. And I'd say just familiarise yourself with the layout of the gym. If there's any machines that you want to try, I'd say just hop on them. Literally just do 5 or 6 reps, just get used to the movements. And if you get really stuck, you can always ask someone if there's a gym manager or if there's a personal trainer on the floor, or if there's someone in the gym that kind of looks like they know what they're doing. They won't be annoyed that you ask them. It's more of a compliment. I definitely say go over and ask them how to do a certain exercise or show you how to do something, because they're more than likely going to help you.
Yeah. So if a student didn't necessarily have the access to a gym, what kind of workouts would you recommend? I know you've said walking. Is there anything else that you would maybe suggest?
I'd recommend looking up home workouts on YouTube. So in lockdown, I know that I did some dance workouts, which was quite funny actually. But literally you can look on YouTube, or TikTok as well is obviously like a really good platform for PTs and everything. So I'd say look on YouTube if you wanted to do like a Pilates session, a yoga session. You can find full body circuits, which are just your body weight, so they're more like HIIT workouts. Or if you have got the accessibility to have a pair of dumbbells at home, you can make your own workout watching YouTube and TikTok videos and just cram that into half an hour or 40 minutes, and that's more than enough.
Yeah. Is there any specific influencers maybe you would recommend people look at, follow their workout guides?
So I still follow him actually, James Smith PT. He's really quite funny, and he looks a lot at people's videos that are qualified and that aren't actually qualified PTs, and you can really see the difference. And he basically gives you advice. So he'll say this person might have said you need to do 8 exercises with 15 reps, but actually if this is your goal, then you need to tailor your workout to this. So he's really good from a structuring your workout perspective. And then from ideas, I follow Hannah Pearson, she's called Nadia, I can't remember her last name though, but she's really good as well, and they're both the ladies are on TikTok, and I always watch their videos, and they do like cable specific only workouts if you just want to use the cable machine in the gym, so they're really good.
Yeah, that sounds good. And good if the gym's really busy and you only have one area to do all your workouts. So, what mistakes do you often see in beginners when, starting out working out or exercising?
Doing too much. So obviously when you first start, there's a thing called it's like newbie gains.
Yeah.
And when you first start lifting weights where your body's not used to it, you do actually tend to build muscle quite quickly. But you do have to have a balance that you don't go to the gym 7 days a week to start off with, because your body is going through a change. So I think you can easily burn yourself out. So I think as a beginner, I think you should go 2 to 4 times. It depends sort of like how active you've been previously. And I would say just stick to your workout. Don't go too heavy with your weights and injure yourself. Like, you can become overconfident quite quickly. And I would say, obviously, it's easier said than done. But I would say just try and take it slow and steady, and do try and take it easy, because you can get ahead of yourself and you don't want to injure yourself right from the get-go.
So if someone was to face an injury, how would you kind of recommend they carry on with fitness but dealing with that injury?
So if it was a muscle injury, so if you just pulled a muscle, I would say rest the muscle for 5 days. And then if it's still feeling a little bit tender after that long, I'd say you basically need to listen to your body. But if it's a more severe injury, like if you've torn a ligament or like sprained something, or like worst case scenario, broken a bone, obviously you have to listen to your doctor, and you probably will need to have physio if it's a really bad injury. But for probably if you just pulled a muscle, I'd say don't exercise that muscle for like 5 to 7 days. And then when you do start to come back into it, start really, really light weights. Basically start from the beginning again, because obviously if you go back into the weights that you were lifting, you'll hurt yourself again, which obviously you don't want to keep doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, just listen to your body and just take things slow and steady.
Are there any simple routines that you could maybe recommend if someone's quite shy at the gym, or they didn't maybe want to do a HIIT workout or something? Is there anything specific you can recommend?
Definitely, again, so YouTube or TikTok, literally search up a cable specific only workout. Let's say you wanted to do your upper body, you could type up cable specific workout for your upper body, or if you wanted a whole body one, or if you wanted a HIIT workout, you can literally find anything on TikTok and YouTube that people have put out there. So it's normally they're about half an hour to 40 minutes. You could do just with a pair of kettlebells, a pair of dumbbells, just HIIT, so it's all your body weight. I definitely say YouTube or TikTok, and just get a 30-minute one, and you can just stay in your space and you're nice and comfortable then.
Yeah, so would you recommend someone that's trying to maybe have a big transformation weighing themselves, or would you stay away from that? How would you track someone's progress?
If your goal was sort of weight loss or weight gain, I would definitely say weigh yourself at the start and weigh yourself at the end. But it can be very easy to get sort of fixated on the number on the scales.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you are trying to lose weight, it's a combination of weights and cardio that you have to do. And muscle weighs more than fat, and a lot of people do know that, but they don't really know that when they look at the scales.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you are training and you are building muscle, you are also burning fat, but the number on the scales might not actually be changing a lot. And again, like if you're trying to put on muscle, the scales might go up like a lot faster than you would like to think. So from the perspective of kind of like the mental fixation, and like a lot of people can go down a rabbit hole, I say go by how your clothes fit you.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's a lot more, like if you build some muscle, obviously like your clothes will be slightly tighter, or it's like if you've lost a bit of weight, like your clothes will then become baggier. So I think it's a more healthy way to sort of measure your weight. If you're obviously still weigh yourself, but don't fixate on it, go by how your clothes fit a little bit more than the number on the scales.
Can you just explain what bulking is?
Bulking is basically when with your diet, you have your maintenance calories, and how you lose weight and how you gain weight is everything to do with your energy in and your energy out. So your maintenance calories, so for instance, my maintenance calories for me to stay at the weight that I'm at now is around 1,500 calories a day. If I wanted to lose weight, I'd have to go into a deficit. So I'd have to be eating probably 1,200 to 1,300 calories. But if I wanted to gain weight, I'd be eating near sort of 1,800, near 2,000 calories. And when people bulk, they're basically eating in that calorie surplus. So you'll probably see the terms kind of like a clean bulk and a dirty bulk. They're used a lot on social media. So a clean bulk is where people prioritize like high protein, high carb, like high good fat. So like lots of avocados, and like they'll be eating a lot more calories than they're burning, but they're going to the gym and lifting really heavy weights. And a dirty bulk is kind of like when they're eating like burgers, chips, like chocolate, like they're getting their calories still, but it's not in a nutritional way.
Yeah.
So men tend to bulk because when you bulk, you put on the weight, it basically goes to muscle, and then there's a thing called a cut, which is obviously then when you go into that calorie deficit. So then your body burns the fat off of you, but your muscle mass stays the same. So you basically become more lean, and your muscle definition is a lot better. So men tend to do that a lot more than women do. So I definitely find that if like my programs for men and women are very, very different.
Yeah.
Like women are very cardio focused or more like toning their muscles, whereas men are like, they basically want to build muscle as fast as they possibly can.
So if someone wanted to start off with weightlifting, how would you recommend they slowly, increase their weight?
So I would say write yourself a 6-week program, and in that 6-week program, let's say you wanted to build up muscle in your glutes and your legs, for instance, you obviously still have to train your upper body, because your upper body has to be able to support like holding the weights to then train your lower body.
Yeah.
So I would say, so kind of like the routine that I follow, I do legs and sort of glutes 3 times a week, and then I'll do upper body twice a week, and I will stick to the same 6 or 7 exercises in each of those sessions consistently for those 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And what you'll find is every 2 weeks you should be able to increase your weight slightly. So if I could bench press 7.5 kilograms in each hand on week 1, by week 4 I should be able to bench press 10, and that's because my muscles have grown in strength more. So that's kind of like progressive overload. So that's what you're aiming for when you're building muscle. And then by the end of your 6 or 7 weeks, you should hopefully be able to lift 12.5 kilograms. And then that's how you kind of measure that you're getting stronger. Or you can do it with reps as well. So if you find that you could only lift sort of like the weight 8 times, so you only had 8 repetitions, but then by the end of the 6 weeks you could actually do 15, that's a sign to you as well that you've built muscle and that you need to up your weight so that then your reps go back down.
So for a student, obviously there's a lot of stress, especially final year. How would you say fitness plays a role with managing stress and maintaining mental health?
It's a kind of like a known thing that when you exercise, endorphins are released, so your dopamine is released, your serotonin, you have kind of like a feel good factor when you exercise, and you can definitely still feel that after a couple of hours after you've exercised. And it's obviously exams are very stressful, and I do think that exercise is the first thing that goes when stress levels increase, but actually it's really, really important to still exercise, even if you literally go for a walk for half an hour or 40 minutes each day. Just moving your body, like getting those endorphins released, they will eventually help to lower your stress levels. And I personally find that if I've had like a bad day, if I go to the gym, 9 times out of 10, I feel so much better after it, and I'm not as stressed, or I feel I've got more of a happy mood in myself. So it is hard to say to keep balancing it when you're in exams, but mentally it really, really does help you, and you'll be thankful that you do keep exercising it, even if it's just for half an hour each day when you're stressed.
Yeah, definitely. What advice would you give students who struggle with body image and maybe comparing themselves to someone else in the gym? What kind of advice would you give them?
It's really, really hard. Like, I won't lie. Like, I think everyone definitely compares themselves in the gym to other people. Like, that's a completely natural thing. And like, obviously it's a lot easier said than done, saying that no one's looking at you, like, you're perfect the way you are, like, don't look at someone else and want their body, but like, you can't help but do it. And I do think that probably some gyms probably do have more of a, not a toxic, like, some gyms probably, if they're more of like a bodybuilder type gym, I think probably you would look at girls or men and compare yourself to them more, because they tend to be a lot more muscly and they could have the figure that you are aiming for. It's really hard to say not to do it, but there's no way you can't not look at someone else and compare yourself. Like, you will naturally do it, but I think it's just not letting that consume you. So I think obviously acknowledge in your head, be like, oh my gosh, like, her figure's great, or like, his figure's amazing, like, God, like, I wish I could lift like them. But then you have to look at yourself, and probably they've been lifting for 5 to 7 years and you might have only just started. So I do think that probably you could look at them and think, oh, like, maybe that could be my end goal for 5 years time. Obviously 5 years sounds like a long time, but that probably is how long it takes for people to be like happier with themselves. That's really hard. There's no set way. I don't think anyone's ever 100% happy with the way they look, and I do think probably gyms with mirrors and lots of people in there definitely don't help that at all mentally. But I don't know.
That's alright.
That's really hard.
Do you think social media has a lot to play with maybe body confidence and fitness influencers?
Yeah, I definitely say, like, within the past like 2 or 3 years, this whole like ideal body with like the fitness influencers with like the big glutes, like the tiny skinny waists, like, that's not a realistic body image. Like, for every like 100 people that you'll look at, probably one have got that figure that you're idolizing. And I think that probably, like, it just so happens that they are the people that are going viral on TikTok. And like, to be fair, like, they've worked so hard for that figure, but genetically you cannot change the way that your body is. Like, you could work out all you want, like, you could eat what you want, but if genetically you've got a slightly wider rib cage, you're never going to have that tiny 24-inch waist that some of these influencers have. And I definitely think that it's not a bad thing that they're all on social media, because like, they are offering advice, but I think their bodies probably are very, very unrealistic for 85% of the population. And I think people fixate on the fact that they want that figure and they can't get it, and I think that's really, really hard when you kind of want something and you know that you can't get it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget that the fitness influencers, it's their full-time job. They are paid to work out. So I think being a student, it's easy to compare and forget that, let's say this influencer has 7 days a week to go to the gym. They have all the time.
And they often, like, the people that are, so Hannah Pearson, for instance, she is like, everyone kind of idolizes her figure in the fact that she's tiny, but she's got really, really big glutes.
Yeah.
But she's been training for 12 years.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen overnight. And I think most people think that they can go to the gym for 6 months and look like that. But it takes really hard work and dedication. And sometimes you do go down a rabbit hole. But I think that definitely, like, trying to look like these influencers is not healthy at all. Like, everyone does it. Everyone's guilty of like being like, oh, I'd love to look like them, but like realistically, for your own mental health, like you shouldn't compare yourself to them.
Yeah.
But it's hard not to.
So if, let's say I was going to the gym for the first time, what would you recommend I maybe bring with me to the gym? Is there any equipment I might need to take? What would you recommend?
Most of the gyms have got equipment in them already, so obviously they've got all the weights and all of the cable attachments. I definitely say obviously your water, your phone, and then I wouldn't, unless there was anything really specific. So if you were going to use the cable machines, for instance, so like when we go and train glutes, like I know that sometimes gyms don't have the ankle straps. So if you were specifically wanting to do kickbacks and your gym didn't have like the cable attachment, I'd say personally buy that yourself and just bring it with you.
Yeah.
The same if you're doing hip thrusts. Sometimes the gyms don't have the barbell pad, so it entirely depends kind of like what you're training and what your gym has to offer. But I'd say to start with, just go suss out the gym, see what they have, see what they don't have. And then if you do find that you actually need these attachments that they haven't got, then I'd just say buy them yourselves and just have a gym bag and just bring that with you. So I've got a gym bag, and the gyms that I go to have always got the attachments, but I just prefer using my own one sometimes.
Yeah.
And obviously if someone else is using the attachment, it means that you've got a backup, so you don't have to waste your time and you can just get on with your exercise and your workout.
What's your go-to pre-workout snack and post-workout snack? Or meal?
I'll say I'm quite bad with eating before the gym. So like I tend to like not eat before the gym because I do go most mornings. And it's kind of my gym at home, the classes that I do, they're really, really high in intensity. So if I would have eaten before, there's a really high likelihood that I would have then been sick. So I'm kind of in like a routine and a habit of not eating before the gym. But I am trying to do better. But I know, so like an example, so something that would be good would be something. You could have like a piece of toast with peanut butter and banana on it. You'd want something that's got protein in it, something that's got fat in it, and something that's a slow release carb. You could have a rice cracker with some peanut butter on it. You could have a protein shake, pre-workout powder as well. That's what I use. So it kind of gives you an energy boost and it makes you itch and tingle, as Millie knows. And then post-workout, I'd say a really high protein meal. So I'll often come back and it will probably be like 11, half 11, and I'll have like scrambled eggs, avocado, and 2 pieces of toast. So again, you've got your carbs, your fats, and your protein in it. You could have another protein shake if you wanted, but I definitely say anything high in protein and carbs after your workout, so that then your body can basically just convert that straight back into the muscles so that they repair quicker. And then pre-workout, I definitely say something that's a slow release carb so that you have got energy for your whole workout rather than just a really high energy spike at the beginning and then you crash by the end of your workout.
Would you say warming up and cooling down and recovery, is that important? Do you think someone needs to do that?
Yes, so warming up, I'd say you need anywhere from like 2 to 5 minutes. It depends if you haven't moved at all that day. Like if you've been sat at your desk, I'd say 5 to 7 minutes warm up. But if you have kind of like, if you've walked to uni or like you've walked to the shops or something, or like you've been like walking around the house, I'd say probably near like 3 to 5 minutes. So you'd want to do some mobility stretches, make sure that you're make sure your joints are loose, do some like walking lunges. If you're doing lower body, just do some body weight squats. You can do some frog squats, which like open up your hips and make sure that your knees don't hurt. I'd say do some walking lunges, and then if you're doing upper body, obviously make sure you're like rotating your shoulders. You could do some like press ups on your knees just to get your back muscles moving. And then I'd always say the exercises that you're doing, I'd do a warm-up set of each of them. So you don't have to go to all 6 straight away. Whatever exercise you start on, do sort of a weight that would be half of your working set. So if my working set was 10 kilograms, I do a warm-up set with 5 and just do 8 to 10 reps of that, and just make sure that my arms, for instance, if I was doing a chest press, just make sure that my arms were used to the movement and my muscles were awake and ready to go. And then the next movement, if I was doing a shoulder press, again, I take half the weight of my working set and just do that. And then with a cool down as well, I definitely say, if you've had like a really heavy weight session, I definitely say to stretch, because your body will thank you for that the day after. Because I'm guilty, I don't stretch all the time, and like I can feel it if I've lifted heavy the day before, like my bum and legs will be really, really aching in the morning. So if that does happen, get up and move, because then the lactic acid will come out of your muscles and you won't be in as much pain. But cool downs, I'd say anywhere from sort of like 2 to 5 minutes. It depends how heavy your workout has been. And if you've been doing cardio as well, if you've gone on a long run, let's say you've done a half an hour run, you definitely need to keep walking for another 5 minutes to stop your blood basically pooling at the bottom of your feet. Like, so it's like where your blood goes, oh.
I'm surprised I didn't take my eye out then.
Yeah, so definitely say if you've done a long run, or if you've done like a cycle or anything, to do a cool down for at least 5 minutes to stop the blood sort of like rushing to the bottom of your legs, and then yeah, you have complications if that happens.
Yeah. Okay, so I just have some quick fire questions to ask you. So, weights or cardio?
Weights,
Why?
because I want to look like Kim Kardashian.
Best time to work out, morning or night?
I'm a morning person. I just want to be in bed and eat my dinner at night.
Your go-to workout song?
At the minute, I've Arrived by Obscure. Just
I've never heard of that.
It's upbeat and I just like to dance, basically.
Pre-workout snack?
I have pre-workout powder or a Squares bar, just because they taste nice.
What's the pre-workout flavour?
Baddie Berry.
Baddie berry.
Baddie Berry.
Baddie berry. Favourite exercise for beginners?
Probably squats.
Squats. Rest day, Netflix or outdoors?
Netflix.
What are you watching on Netflix at the moment?
I'm not actually watching anything on Netflix, but I'm watching Tell Me Lies, which is on Disney.
So good.
So
yeah.
I'm on my
Recommend
Disney
that.
thing.
Gym buddy or solo workouts?
I do like having a gym
You
buddy.
better not say solo.
Yeah, I don't like you actually. But sometimes I do like being by myself just to get it done.
Get in the
because
zone.
It takes twice as long when you have a gym
It does.
buddy.
If there's 4 of us.
Yeah, that's a bit
Takes a long
intense.
time. How many minutes should a workout last?
Anywhere from 45 minutes to about an hour and a half. Depends
Okay.
what your goal is.
Dumbbells or resistance bands?
Dumbbells.
How heavy?
Not very heavy. Upper body probably like 7.5. Lower body I can lift a bit more, probably
Yeah.
like 15.
Squats or deadlifts? Or
Deadlift.
RDLs?
RDLs.
RDLs. On what though?
On
Barbell?
No, I don't like them.
No?
I don't like them. You hurt my back. I did them. No, on. Do you know what? I don't even know what the machine's called. But you stand on like a platform and it's like this massive cage and you like hold a bar. And
Not
it basically
a hack
just.
squat?
No, oh my god, no. No.
Do you like hack squat?
No.
No, I hate a hack squat as well. It's awful.
No, it's a humbling exercise.
Yeah.
I can't put any weight on that. And
No,
I'm
it's
like,
awful.
oh.
It's awful. Best way to recover after a tough workout?
Oh, I love a sauna and an ice
Ice
bar.
bar. What's your best time in an ice bar?
2.5 minutes. What's yours?
6. You can do 5.
No, I can't.
You can.
I can't. I'll cry.
Coffee before or after a workout?
After, just because of my IBS, and I always get scared in the gym.
What's your go-to coffee order then?
An iced latte with soy milk because I'm lactose intolerant. And sometimes I'll put caramel syrup in it if I'm feeling a bit fruity for the day.
What's your fitness mantra?
What does that mean?
Next question.
Oh, I'm like, come on, like, stop being lazy bitch. Like, we want to. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say bitch. Sorry, yeah, I want to like Kim Kardashian. So I'm like, let's go to the gym. Like,
That's
lift
how you
heavy.
get yourself up.
That's how I get myself up in the morning.
Do you train abs?
Sometimes they're a bit neglected.
Neglected.
Abs made in the kitchen. Apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, abs made in the kitchen.
Isn't it something? What percentage is your body made from like the food you eat?
Oh, this is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
80% of like
Your physique.
is food, and only 20% is the gym.
Yeah.
So you could go to the gym 7 days a week, but if you're eating
Mackies.
horrendous food, you're not going to see any progress at all.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
How soon until you see the gains?
So 8 weeks plus, so it's actually a lot longer than you think. So you'll probably notice that your clothes fit a little bit different after about 4 to 6 weeks. But for people to actually look at you and notice a change, it can take like 3 to 6 months. Like, it's really not a very quick change.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What's your favourite workout outfit at the moment?
Oh, Define, as
Define.
always.
Impact shorts?
Yeah, my dark slate grey Impact shorts, and then to be fair, I keep sitting Gemma's top at the minute. She's
Grey
got
one.
the Own Active one, and it's like, yeah, it makes my boobs look great. it's like a tank top, and yeah, it goes really nice.
Do you wear a BBL jacket?
I love my Define BBL jacket.
Yeah. What trainers do you wear? Or do you go barefoot?
Oh, no, sometimes I go barefoot. I do wear they're literally pairing Nike trainers. I actually need to get new ones because like my toes like keep rubbing holes through them. So like my toes are literally going to be poking out the top any minute now. I want a pair of New Balance though. Everyone seems to have New Balance.
Which one?
Oh, I think it's the 570s. I don't know. They've got like the bit up the back of them. You can like see, I don't know.
The ones that I have. Or not? Different ones?
No, they're not like the sporty ones that look
Yeah.
like the A6. They're the other ones. They've got the N on the side.
Oh,
The more like suede looking ones.
Yes.
I like those ones.
Would you recommend if someone's doing squats, let's say, that they wear shoes or not? Because I see a lot of people in the gym with no shoes.
Yeah, I definitely say with squats, when you've obviously got the weight on your back, if your feet are slightly like elevated at the heel or your toes are elevated, your balance can be really distorted. So I would say Converse are a really good pair of trainers because they are as flat as you can possibly get. So, but obviously no one's going to want to spend like 90 quid just so that they can do squats. So I definitely say if you find that you're kind of like leaning, you can feel your weight like shifting around in your feet, just take your shoes off.
Yeah.
I walk around the gym with my socks out all the time. I'm like, I don't really care.
Feet.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for answering all of our questions and for coming on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, guys.
Bye.